Imagine opening the RSI Star Citizen website and instead of seeing something like this, which is great if you enjoy raking your fingernails bloody as you scrape the bottom of the barrel of what a game could technically classify as live service content, you saw this. Imagine having various long-term goals designed to be completed over many months or even years between wipes that you can focus on and get rewarded for by simply playing and engaging with the game's most rudimentary features. Imagine playing Star Citizen. Our Ludicrous Space Games 69,420th annual ship sale, the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, has come to an end, and I didn't even know where the show floor was this year, and that's because I have no interest in buying spaceships, and apparently a lot of you didn't either, as indicated by the fact that this may be CIG's first drop in sales compared to previous years. However, they did run an IAE Academy event where you could log into the game, perform some tasks, and earn yourself a nice set of armor, a pistol, and a rifle. Now, the IAE Academy, combined with the Save Stanton event and their associated rewards, provide some arguably decent reasons to log in and play the game. For me personally, I was 100% committed to earning the Pyro Attrition Repeaters rewarded for accomplishing the Save Stanton event, because there's not enough maze or illegal space sex eggs in the world you could trade me to even think about doing the IAE Academy tasks. And that's fine, different strokes for different folks. However, CIG seems so focused on making these big spectacle events like Xenothreat or Save Stanton or Siege of Orison, which are great, don't get me wrong, those events should have their place and probably need to be run now and then for, quote, valuable data gathering purposes, end quote. But I feel like having monumental goals like this running in the background for, say, an entire patch cycle, which could be half a year to 2 years long at this rate, is far simpler and solves some serious problems along the way and blows whatever this is supposed to be out of the space water. I threw this mock-up together after thinking about the actual tasks involved for earning the reward for the IAE Academy and how lackluster it felt to me. Not just the rewards, those are fine I guess, but the tasks themselves just feel incredibly isolated and mundane compared to what the rest of the game, on a wider scale, has to offer. Now, I understand that the IAE Academy tasks exist to help onboard newer players, but I don't see why we couldn't have both. Without trying to sound too hyperbolic, I really do believe that Star Citizen, even today, is capable of some of the utmost best emergent gameplay possible within a video game, and incentivizing the most basic of gameplay loops for all players with goals to achieve over a long period of time, gameplay loops that actually can interact with one another as players go about their business, could encourage more of that emergent gameplay to take shape for more players more often. That's why I started this channel in the first place, to showcase just how genuinely incredible Star Citizen can be. I play the game because I think it's fun. I record my experiences and edit them down to these ridiculous gameplay videos I've become known for and try to make them as entertaining as I know how, because I feel people need to see what this game is capable of, buggy, broken, warts and all. Speaking of the channel, what a great way to segue into this video's sponsor, the channel's Patreon page. I often get emails from angry handsome viewers complaining about how there are only 3 Patreon tiers and how that's an unacceptably low amount of Patreonism for voidy vids. But no more. I have taken that one guy's feedback incredibly seriously and added like 4 new tiers of shamelessness to the channel's Patreon page. So if you hate money and have a questionable taste in the YouTube content you choose to support, there's now a total of 7 tiers of glorious epic space adventure supportage to ensure the survival and posterity of voidy vids. My god, that's a lot of Patreonism. I'm sure you're all deeply impressed, but let's get back to the video. Now, this image is just an example to get some discussion going for what I believe could be a genuinely solid, if not temporary, solution to 2 major problems I feel plague Star Citizen at the moment, outside of game-breaking bugs and a pretty rough user experience. Those 2 problems being the sense of player progress and wipes. First of all, regarding player progress, until we start seeing base building, crafting and ship upgrading and all the rest of what the 1.0 release of the game will be, actual player progression is really limited to simply increasing the size of your fake space money bank account and buying ships in game. Both of these forms of progress are feeling a bit tired at this stage of the project, with AUEC being absolutely meaningless to many people as they have access to all the ships in the world and no need to make any new purchases, be that both in or out of game. And the second problem would be a solution to the first problem, but it becomes its own problem: wipes. Wipes between large patches, even though they are very few and far between, severely cripple the incentives for players to even log into the game in the first place. Now with 4.0 on the horizon, how many of you have shelved Star Citizen until Pyro is actually finally running on the live servers, regardless of how awesome Path of Exile 2 is? Having long-term goals designed to be accomplished over extended periods of time with genuinely exciting rewards like unique profession-themed armors and gear, ship skins, and now there's even precedent to do ship components and weapons, coupled with the fact that these rewards get assigned to your account for accomplishing them, would take the sting out of the wipe for many players because they're actually progressing towards something that isn't going to get deleted and creates incentive to play the game you otherwise would have played if you had a reason to do so, provided they kept the live servers as polished and playable as possible and fixed persisting problems like the absolutely game-breaking cargo elevators randomly not working, which brings every trader, smuggler and pirate's gameplay to a screeching halt. We are getting a full wipe coming with 4.0, and once the Pyro patch finally goes live, it will be an incredibly exciting time to jump into our ludicrous space game, regardless of any events or rewards for participating in activities in the game, and I'm sure player numbers will peak like they've never peaked before. And there will be a huge increase in mainstream interest from beyond the cult bubble the Star Citizen community tends to exist in. So I feel now, more than ever, CIG really need to get this thing into the best state humanly possible. But Void Dude, I cannot hear you ask, why then propose these crazy long-term player incentive progression goals if it's already too late and 4.0 is soon upon us? Handsome viewer, there's not an illegal SpaceX chance alone on the jagged metallic debris fields of Brios that this won't be the last wipe, and it's only a matter of time until we find ourselves repeating the current situation of dwindling player numbers, dead servers, and the general feeling of there's nothing to do in this game, possibly even before a fabled 1.0 release. It's not a lot, but as time has gone on, credit where credit's due, we've seen more gameplay-orientated goals and rewards come online, so I feel like this idea is a simple increase on the scale of what CIG have already been doing, and we know they track event participation really well. And we're seeing more and more in-game rewards for participating in huge, handcrafted, designed events, but if they took a step back and did something arguably much simpler and focusing attention on the core gameplay loops, as simple as some of them might be, it could yield fantastic results and provide solutions to some problems along the way. Not to mention, having long-term goals like this running in the background does not need to be mutually exclusive to other big in-game events or onboarding campaigns like the IAE Academy. I'm also self-aware enough to realize I might be incredibly biased in this idea, since I enjoy piracy and piracy is 100% dependent on other people playing the game. But CIG should want people to want to play their game, they just need to give us actual good reasons to do so. So I genuinely would love to hear your thoughts. If the systems of the game were working as intended, if cargo elevators worked and bounty target markers didn't disappear, if things just performed the way they were supposed to perform, would you spend more time doing what you enjoy doing in Star Citizen, provided there was an awesome reward for it that required a huge commitment to achieve and was immune to wipes? Many players would simply be rewarded for doing what they would do anyway, and many others might actually feel like it's not a huge waste of time to do what they would do if there was something to play for that wasn't going to disappear in a wipe. CIG might get more consistent data on player behaviors for the simple, rudimentary stuff that we're all here for anyway. We all back the project to bounty hunt and pirate and mine and trade. These are already the things that sold us on the game. We don't always need an insane Xenothreat incursion into the Stanton system or another Siege of Orison to get us hyped and logged in. What players need are reasons. There's arguably enough in the game as it is today to get dedicated players doing what they want to do. They just need that sense of progression to spur them on. These goals could even track player progression as a party, bringing in more orgs and group play, something you don't often see in the game at the moment. I really feel this could be some kind of great stopgap measure to have progress in Star Citizen without having progress in Star Citizen, taking the sting out of inevitable wipes, keeping the servers at healthy player levels, and giving everyone something meaningful to do when they log into the game on any given day. I would really love to hear your thoughts. Bugs and game-breaking issues aside, what would keep you coming back into the game? Perhaps one day on the road to 1.0, we could have more reasons to play before the inevitable wipe to wipe all wipes. Thank you channel Patreons and channel members for all your support. Thinking of pledging to this ludicrous space game? Then use the referral code randomly selected from my Patreons and channel members on screen now for a free 5,000 starting credits. Support from handsome viewers like you keeps this channel going, so if you want to help out beyond a like and a subscribe, consider becoming a patron or use the join button below, and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/voidude or right here on YouTube for live streams. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you around the verse. Cheers.